Hello everyone in cyber world, welcome back to another video. I'm Richard.
And I'm Jennifer, and this is our channel we call Poor Man's DIY. Look everyone, our big classified purchase has arrived.
Okay, what is the top secret? It is an OMTech CO2 laser. It's 100 watt. We're going to figure out how to work this and set it up and everything. So to begin with, the first thing is we're going to have to take this apart and figure out how to get it onto the ground, and then how we're going to rearrange the whole garage so that it'll fit, and then we'll get to start playing with it. I don't know how many videos this is going to take to get this whole thing done, but let's get started. Okay, now we have a minor issue. This thing is sitting on top of a pallet of sorts, and we need to get the machine from here onto the ground, and I don't think the two of us are going to be able to pick this up and let it down. So I went out and purchased something. We actually bought a ramp that's normally for, I guess, wheelchairs to get onto curbs for homes that aren't handicap friendly, and so we're going to go ahead and assemble that and see if we can just roll this thing off. But before we do that, the laser itself comes on coasters so that it can be rolled around, but it also has these bases. Right now the base is holding this up, and so the rollers aren't making full contact. I need to move these in clockwise so that it goes up, and then the weight will be on the wheels, and then we can roll it. I have to do that with all of these, all four of these bases here, but I just noticed that they're all screwed in as well. So we're going to unscrew those first, and then we'll start adjusting this so that we can put up the ramp and see if we can slide it off. Right now, this isn't going to be entirely like a lot of other people who have picked up such a laser, where they show you exactly how to set it up, configure it, and so forth. There's a lot involved in that. In reality, part of setting this up is balancing out the mirrors. It kind of showed you that there. I didn't get into details of exactly all the steps that are performed. I'd imagine as you get used to setting this and making sure it is properly aligned, you'll get better at it. It'll take less time the next time you do it. But the first time, it took me quite some time. I just couldn't get it right. Eventually, things started to make a little more sense, and I got it balanced. I didn't want to show you exactly how that's done, because in order to do that, it would appear to me that people have disabled the safety feature that allows the laser to work even when the lid is up. Now, if you do things properly, you can disable this safety feature, take it up, and then show exactly how these tests are performed. One of the tests you have to do each time is you run a quick pulse and a beam shows out, and it burns the tape to show you where it's aligned to. Now, with this closed, I can't get a good view on that, so the only way they're able to do that is either put a camera inside or they've got the lid open and they're doing it. I'd imagine that once they're finished with the video, they would enable that and then so that they have a safety feature built in. But again, I didn't want to do that. This was more just kind of an unboxing, showing you the basics on it, some things that you're going to have to do to set it up, such as balancing the mirrors, just to talk about it, and some of the other features within. So let's go ahead and continue and show you some of these great features that I have done some tests. I needed to do some tests so I can at least talk about it here. The first things that I did do is I ran tests on the type of wood that I use most frequently. That's 1/4 and 1/8 mahogany plywood. I've also ran tests on some pine and poplar. I was very impressed with them. I didn't actually record those. That was just more for my own sake. So I'm kind of getting excited about some things that I wanted to do. My tool rack here, I want to do something that's with more precision with the laser, so I wanted to test those before I finished with this video. Got a little carried away. It's my new toy. So anyhow, let's go ahead and take a little closer look at some of the features that came with this that I'm really looking forward to using. The main thing here is the huge bed. I'm used to using both my X-Tool M1 and my Acer. The Acer is about 16.5 by 16.5 inch, and my M1 is about 12 by 10, I believe it is, for plaques and whatnot that I make. This one here, we'll just call it ginormous. I believe it's officially 20 by 28. Now, that's just within this unit itself. But this comes with some features that really had me interested. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. All right, one of the key features that I found fascinating, and I was really looking forward to finding a way to use this, is this here. Let me get this open. Got to get used to the keys. That's one side. And the other side. All right. Oh, let's try that again. Okay. So what exactly is this? This actually is a feed through that would allow me to take a piece of wood that's 28 inches wide, and it will sit on top of the honeycomb that's inside, and you can pass this long piece of wood. It could be as long as what your 8-foot sheet of plywood that you purchase, as long as you cut it down to 28 inches, and you could feed it through little by little, and it will actually be able to engrave one giant sign. It doesn't have a feature built in where that the laser will continuously run and it automatically feeds through, so it appears that you have to do it little by little, but still, this now gives me the opportunity to do something that is 28 inches wide and as long of a board as I can purchase. If I get a 12-foot board that's maybe ½ inch thick or something, I could actually run this through there and make some neat concepts. Now, in addition to here on the front, it goes through obviously on the back side. I would have to pull the machine out from the wall to go ahead and do this, but it's on wheels, so that's convenient. On the side is a similar panel that would allow you to run a board from the left all the way out through the other side as well. So this now expands my capabilities where I can make signs that are even larger if people request it. All right, now inside itself, there's another feature in here that I like, is that it has a laser that, not for the cutting, it's just simply like a pointer laser that shines a light as to where the cut is going to be. The benefit behind this is I can put the wood anywhere inside here, and I know where the actual laser is going to start cutting. Before, without, for example, one of my other lasers, it doesn't have a camera, it doesn't have this capability, so there's a lot of guesswork, or you have to rely on your measurements of your honeycomb to make sure that you're lined up properly before you start cutting. Now, you can do it the other way, but like I said, it does require make sure that your measurements are perfect and that the wood is in the exact proper place in order for you to engrave or cut something in the center of let's say, a circle. You want to put something dead center on there. It makes it a little more difficult when you don't have a camera or a laser pointer, as I said. This pointer here already has made a big difference where now I can take scrap wood, put it in, and I know exactly where I can start, and I'm wasting even fewer bits of wood because I can match it right up to where the last piece was cut, and I know that I can start on this newest piece, cut it, less and less scrap involved on that one. Okay, along with the laser, they provided keys and a little piece of acrylic that was measured a specific distance, and that is supposed to be placed in between the laser head and whatever it is that you're cutting. And then it was supposed to be the ideal focal point, so you adjust the table height so that you get it so that it's exactly right. And every time you have to do, in other words, you're manually focusing this one here. There are some ways that you can do some tests. I've seen some people that put out some great videos on how to perform the test, where it will actually have you cut in an angle, they refer to it as a ramp test, I believe, where you'll run the laser over this, and some places are going to be a little bit wider burn, and then it gets narrow, and then it gets wide again. The point that it is the smallest, narrowest pinpoint line, that's where your focus is the best. And so then once I determined that, when I ran the test, I actually measured that and figured out what the true perfect measurement for the wood and what I'm using on. And it turns out it's a little bit different from the acrylic piece that they provided. I was able to determine it to be at 16.5 millimeters, so I cut some pieces, actually several of these, and this is now what I use to adjust in between the wood and the laser here, and that's what's needed to be the focus properly for cutting. Now, how do we actually do this? If we put in a different piece of wood that's taller or much thicker, and all you're going to be doing is engraving on it, well, this is up too high. We need to be able to lower this down. Now, there are some that are these models that are have automated focus on there. Mine does not have that. Has a little dial over here, and with this dial, hopefully you can see it, but the base lowers. Okay, so if I had this set for different wood, I would now put this here and raise the bed and bring it right up. And that should be focused perfectly for the use that I need. Okay, on the side of the laser here is a port. It's to hook up a fan for ventilation purposes. If you were to work in some particular environment where you don't care about the smoke filling up the whole area, you just take this off and the whole smoke would come out there. I happen to have a couple different smoke purifiers that were intended for some smaller units, but it had a 3-inch hose connection on it, and this particular laser comes with a 6-inch end. So I bought a reducer that takes from 6 all the way down to 3. I had to do a little bit of adjusting, heating up the PVC just so it stretches and fits over the outlet here and connect it. I know they have other machines that are meant for these large type things, but for the time being, I'm going to go ahead and continue to see if this works for here. I had an enclosed case that I used for cutting wood that was 16 by 16, and it it inhaled everything and did a good job on it. So this machine, in theory, as long as this thing is enclosed, it should be pulling enough and should be able to keep the smoke and the smells reduced considerably within my garage. If it doesn't work, then I'll look into investing into a larger one. But for the time being, all the tests that I've done so far, it works just as well as when I connected it up to my other lasers, so I'm really happy about that one. All right, now this is another feature that came along with the laser. It was on sale. Normally you have to purchase this separately, but it is a chiller. So the CO2 lasers use a tube and you need to keep it cool, and so you run water through it. It comes with a pump. The laser comes with a pump and a bucket and shows you some instructions where you can run distilled water. The pump will push it through and keep the laser cool enough to function, but they also have an actual chiller. The chiller, I've seen some people that actually run distilled water through it as well, but I went ahead and purchased some antifreeze type thing that is designed for lasers. Don't use the stuff that's for your car. It has a different purpose, and it will not function well in the CO2, and it could cause some big problems from what I understand. So make sure you use the distilled water or the coolant that comes with, or that OMTech sells themselves. Now this here, as I said, just chills it and makes sure that it keeps it at a good temperature. I'm starting to build some, I guess, furniture and shelves and whatnot, because this whole garage wasn't intended for something this large. If you've seen our other videos, this used to be a workbench area, and I had to destroy that, and I'm cutting it down to different pieces, and I'm going to show you what's on another video, the things that we've done to our garage. I'm having a little bit of fun with that. I've also made a different workbench in a little smaller area, but it's still, I was able to have a workbench and my new fun toy here, and along with that we got the chiller here, and now we can handle this. So I got the chiller and the smoke purifier on the other end. This thing is ready to go. I did have an order that came in right at the time that I finished this, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do something. It is a repeat customer, and it's something that I had a template for, and normally I run it on my other lasers anywhere from 200 to 500 milliliters per second, depending on that's per minute, depending on the thickness of the wood. This one here, I ran at 2,000, so it's as fast as almost 10 times faster than some of my settings on the other one. And the power was set at 50% power, where the other one I'm running at 100% to be able to cut it. I watched this thing cut through and created a plaque that I make frequently like that. So I do need to make sure I charge customers, because I have to pay for this thing here. So I appreciate my customers who keep coming back and buying more, and I'll use those templates and get them done even faster. So for now, this is just a kind of a review of the product real quickly, just to give an overall opinion of things. And so far, of the tests that I've done, it's just been incredible. I now have a bunch of ideas that I want to see if I can do. I don't know how well it'll work, but if you've seen shoji screens, or I guess they're called room dividers, that fold, trifold, quadrifold, whatever, and you put them in the living room with the white Japanese paper, and it has some designs on there. I'm thinking I could buy a sheet of wood, make a very elaborate design. I don't know how many hours it would take, but that sure would be fun to be able to come up with something really neat and put the hinges and put the paper behind it and see what I can do. That may be, I don't know, years down the line or something, but it's something that I have in the back of the mind here, is like, wow, I can do that now too. So I'm going to be testing some things, but for right now, of all the tests that I did, and let me show you what I did make. This is something that I've shown in the past on all the procedures that I've done, but I cut out all these letters, all the shapes and whatnot in just a matter of a couple minutes, whereas normally it takes 10-15 minutes to finish that before I can start spray painting and gluing everything together. So this has really been a lifesaver, allowing me to mass produce something like this if I wanted to. And so it just seems the opportunities are endless right now. All right, in conclusion, I would normally have my partner here with me. You saw her at the beginning of the video. She is available, but I didn't want to bother her on this particular one because for the last, I think, about 4 days, I've been in this garage pulling out shells, disassembling shells, cutting things up. This has been a madhouse of wood and dust and everything else. And I didn't show you what's behind the camera right now, but there's still a lot to be done. But I wanted to get this video out for this weekend. And it's like 11 o'clock at night, and I didn't want to wake her up to come down here to film this with me. So I'm just going to go ahead and close up for now. Next week, I'm going to go ahead and hopefully be able to show you the things that we've done to, I don't know, improve on our garage and make the space that I need to be able to continue to work woodworking and or our business, making plaques and signs and so forth. So anyhow, we'll call it quits for today. I must say in conclusion, I am super happy with this machine. And right now, yeah, I would definitely recommend this one here. Anyhow, until we meet again, bye-bye.